Fix that shit. Square it up. Gotta square that up a little bit. There you go. Much better. Much better, BC. Square that shit up. There you go. Up a little bit. Up. There you go. There you go. Square that shit up. There you go. Hold on, unit. I'm waiting for BC to go live on my screen, and then I can do some playback. This may take a minute. Hold on. What's up, everybody? I have no screen. I have no playback right now, so hold on. Please. Can you guys hear me? Anybody that's got BC live? All right, my own screen doesn't want to fucking... Here's the deal. Wow, there's a lot to go over, and I have a lot to do actually today, man. So this isn't going to be very long. We don't think. Hold on, guys. Come on in, guys. Appreciate it. It didn't want to give me my screen. I got to refresh this. Hold on. Make sure that I'm live with you guys. False reporting last night, guys. First of all, while I'm waiting for my playback to kick in, while I'm waiting for my picture to show up here, that was all false reporting. That was 100% bullshit. You know what? Playback is good. I'm going to go to my my earbuds if you don't mind. Guys, come on. Square that shit up, man. Go up. There you go. Now we're a little bit more square. There you go. Guys, we're hot-shotting this live stream, man. This is the only time I have right now. I don't have even another minute until right before Dynamite, and I'm not sure I can go live for Dynamite, although that might be badass with Mercedes Moné possibly showing up. There's people that are claiming that's definitely going to happen. They're going to look like fucking idiots if it's not the case. And speaking of, there was a report last night. Guys, I put up a video yesterday. It was the Mandy Rose breaks her silence, and I also talked about 3 top buyers of WWE. Walt Disney World... that's right, Disney, Comcast, which is NBC Universal, and Amazon. And as soon as I put that video up, news broke. Literally, the second that went live on the air, news broke that Stephanie McMahon has officially resigned from WWE and taking her absence and was removed from the board. She says it's her decision. I think her old man also booted her. So that all happened immediately after I put that video up, guys. And then a few hours later, social media, the wrestling community went ablaze when a couple of schmucks didn't say a possible WWE Saudi deal has been reached or it's in the making. No, a couple of schmucks said, sources claim, sources say, not claim. They said, my sources say that WWE has been bought by Saudi Arabia. Saudi has purchased WWE, and they went into like details. And these schmucks turned out to be so wrong. Now listen, reports can be wrong sometimes. You hear something that's just been a bad report to you, or things just change. But you own up to it, right? BC has sources. I just call them my people down in Florida. They know a lot more than BC does. Usually they're correct. Sometimes they're wrong. But even when they're wrong, they're nearly right? Like when they said Alexa Bliss is going to win last year's Rumble, and she wasn't even in the motherfucker, and people were laughing going, BC, there's no way, man. Alexa's not even in the Rumble right now. There's no way. And guess what Vegas had her? Vegas had her at number 3. Things like that. BC was wrong, but I'm so proud of my people because they were almost so right? When you get it wrong, you just own up to it, right? And hopefully you're at least in the vicinity, you're in the ballpark. These schmucks last night, I think his name was Steve Muehlhausen, I want to say. I don't know who he works for. Some people say sometimes he is correct, so they believed him. But this dude lost all credibility last night, I assure you. Because you own up to it when you're wrong. Do you know what this motherfucker did? He literally deleted everything. Every single thing that everybody was following because he was the dude that broke it. So everybody was trying to follow to see if his people had more shit. Do you know what you'll find this morning if you go over to that young man or your old man's fucking page? Everything's deleted that had to do with it. And he was taking praise. People were like, good job, Steve. You nailed it, brother. And he's like, good, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. It's been a long day. He was taking all the cred. And now that it's false as fuck, it's all deleted. I'm not the guy. I got all the praise, and now I'm running away, right? It's like the guy who finds the fucking bag of money after somebody else fucking robbed it, finds the bag, runs away. He wants nothing to do with it, right? Even though the money, when he opens that bag, those fucking capsules are going to go out like the bank puts in, so they know that the money is going to be fucking marked, so they know who it was. So he can't even use the fucking money. So I don't know what that cred is going to get him last night. But that was false. Now, here's the thing. If he just rewarded the shit and didn't try to take all the fucking praise and the accolades, this dude was on the right track. Sadly, guys, and this may not be something you want to hear at 2:25 p.m. Eastern time, but my people, and they're more right than wrong, I assure you, they can confirm that WWE is this close to being sold to Saudi Arabia. That is actually a true report. But this motherfucker just came out and he tried to jump. They call this jumping the ship. And he tried to jump that motherfucker. Jump the shark in the process. He tried to get ahead of the story and he didn't put his ducks in a row. No reporter should do that because you will come out looking like a fucking idiot. But yes, it is true. WWE is very close to selling to Saudi. They may even have reached a deal. Now you have to go through the shareholders and you have to do all the legalities and the loopholes. So no, do not be shocked. I mean, we're still going to be shocked. But at least this is like one of those processes where we can try to get our ducks in a row and try to make sense of this. But within the next 4 weeks, don't be totally caught off guard if you hear that, yeah, Saudi Arabia has purchased WWE within the next 4 weeks. A deal could have been already put in place, and now you just have to make it legal. That's all it is. So this reporter might have gotten some good fucking scoops. But to try to say, like, the deal is done and they have purchased it and it's official, you can't do that shit, man. Because other people are going to latch onto it and then we're going to want fucking details. And when you can't provide them, and then other people, Ariel Helwani had to come on this morning and say, dude, I had to personally go to my contacts from this absurd story because I would have heard of this. I had to go to my people and they totally debunked it. Nothing has been made official. So that's the total fucking, that's it, man. It's, guys, do not promote fucking other channels in my chat, please. Come on. Have some respect. I'm talking about something here. This is not a place to promote your fucking stuff. Okay? So that's going to be the one fucking, the one advice I'm going to give everybody here, all right? Let's be fucking, let's be respectful. I'm trying to give you what my people are telling me. I'm trying to give you guys fucking the utmost latest fucking news. And I got people trying to promote their fucking channels and no, not on this shit. Listen the fuck up because our wrestling is changing, all right? The pro wrestling that we once loved, WWE, it's about to be done. Finished. Let's take this shit seriously. This isn't the fucking time to promote a fucking channel with 6 fucking subscribers. And a channel that nobody gives a fuck about. This is the time to get serious. Fucking A. How disrespectful. Promoting your fucking channel in my fucking chat? Seriously? Not on my fucking watch. Where was I? So the news is that was a false report last night. There was no sale completed last night. But yes, there is talks, and there could have even been a deal reached. That doesn't mean it's officially purchased, guys. If you know anything about this, it takes a while. Now, what we're hearing is that JP Morgan was brought in before Vince even came back. So this deal could have been in the months in the making, and we're just finding out about it now. We're just finding out about it now, and that's why Vince came back, just to put the final seal on it. Either way, I believe it's going to go private. That was part of this fucking report last night, right? this fake report or false report because it wasn't entirely accurate. But they're saying that, yeah, Saudi's going to swoop in, they're going to make the purchase, and it'll take it to a private company. Well, BC told you that just a few days ago. I told you guys, Vince wants this to go private no matter what. Because more important to Vince is power, not money. Vince doesn't care about the money. I know it seems that way, right? Because that's how he plays the game of life. Every penny he's going to squeeze out of you because that's how you keep score. When you're really rich and when you're really powerful and you're an egomaniac and you're stubborn to the fucking core and you're narcissistic to the fucking edge, money is how you keep score. But to these rich motherfuckers that are playing around with billions, it's like Monopoly money. What they really are after at the end of the day is power. Power is what Vince wants back. He doesn't like the fact that he got bad advice and he had to leave his fucking company when it was all smoke and mirrors anyway. He was going to come back when the smoke settled, the dust cleared, right? That's when Vince was going to come back. That's why he put a puppet regime in. Stephanie McMahon, Nick Khan, Triple H. It's what we call in business. It's called a puppet regime. And then he can just swoop back when everybody forgets about the investigation and he can just move parts. The problem is that people were not forgetting about it, and Vince was getting pissed off. Well, then he said, I got bad advice. No, everybody is still talking about the investigation. I should have been back by now. It's WrestleMania season. So Vince said, no, I'm not waiting anymore, and he bullied his way back onto the board. It's not a coincidence that Stephanie McMahon just exited the company, the same position that she was in before this investigation started, and she had to take over for Vince. Everything that you are seeing is what BC told you was going to happen, guys. It's called a puppet regime. Vince came back, and the parts are moving once again. Nobody should be shocked about this. Nobody. We're still going to be because it's actually playing out in real time, right? But this is exactly what we thought was going to happen, man. Vince wants to take it private because he can get more control. He doesn't have to answer to people. I think it really pissed him off that he was pretty much booted from his own company when he didn't want to go. And now if you have Saudi that purchases this motherfucker, but he remains at the helm, they got a good relationship where that could absolutely happen. You know, people think that when Saudi takes over that it's the end of WWE. No, not necessarily. Just like I put in the thumbnail. It's the end of the WWE that we once loved, no question. That's done. That's been done. They don't even care anymore. They don't want to compete anymore. You saw that on Monday Night Raw when Kevin Owens had to put his face into that top of the turnbuckle. They don't want to compete. They don't care to make a good product for us. They don't. It's all about just the sale or taking it private, liquidate the company. That's all it is these days. So you make it fucking private? Who cares about what the fans think? And that's why it's not the WWE that we once loved. But Saudi's not going to totally kill this thing. Guys, if you ever drank a fucking Starbucks here in the States, guess what? Guess who's a major investor in that? Fucking Saudi Arabia. Sole owner? No, I understand. But they have a large fucking stake in Starbucks. Amazon. You ever purchase something from Amazon? A big chunk of Amazon is Saudi. You ever go fucking... you ever sleep at a Marriott hotel? They own 10 different chains. Guess what? That's Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia will own it, but they will still be conducting their business in the U.S. They will still be touring the U.S. nonstop. It'll be a U.S.-based company. Vince will probably still be running it. So I hope you guys understand. I want to clear something up. I know some people think it's just going to be purchased by Saudi. It's going to go to Saudi Arabia. And then people like Sami Zayn can't wrestle anymore there. Kevin Owens is his best friend and stands up for him. So Kevin Owens is gone. And that could still happen, by the way. If it gets purchased by Saudi Arabia, I don't know if Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, if people like that stick around. A lot of the females are not happy with how shit is conducted in Saudi Arabia. A lot of your females in that division could ex-nay out of the company, guys. So it's going to be a completely different WWE if Saudi does purchase. But if you think it's just going to be swept back to Saudi and goodbye United States, once in a while we'll come and tour there. That's not how it runs. So and you can bet your ass that most likely Vince will still be running it. So the only good news is that it would be private, and then we can try to get edgier, try to get a little bit more raw here in the States with the product. We can try, right? Saudi, I don't believe, would have any fucking... they would not override Vince on how raw and edgy he wants to go, just because that country is more... It's different, all right? We'll just leave it at that. I think they'd still let Vince run it the way he would want. But the ownership would be, most anyway, $7 billion would be Saudi Arabia. But I just want to clear that up, guys. It doesn't. But a lot of wrestlers would, probably walk out. Sami Zayn, who's involved in one of the biggest storylines, I don't see how he would remain with the company. He has not been to Saudi since they started it up. That's Syrian descent, I believe, and that just doesn't. Sami Zayn can't go over there. Doesn't want to. Kevin Owens supports his friend, so Kevin Owens will not go there. So the Saudi deal, it's not I want to start off with that, man. And I'm trying not to make this a too long of a vid, but I want you guys to know that that's a false report last night. The dude that broke it deleted everything, and that's a bullshit reporter. You own up to it. You say why you said what you said and how accurate you felt at the time. You stand up with your report even though it was false. You don't delete the shit and then act like it never happened, because you know what happened to this Steve guy? He could be a good dude. He could be right 90% of the time. You know what happened with that Steve dude? He lost all credibility last night with BC, for sure. It's like that fucking Andrew guy. Remember, he fucking said, Raw's going to TV 14. The actual report is it was being discussed. This motherfucker jumped the shark, jumped the ship, and tried to be the number one reporter to break the news. And he looked like a fucking idiot because USA Network and Vince said, what the fuck is this guy talking about? It never went to TV 14. And ever since, even before that, this Andrew guy lost all credibility. But for BC, he was fucking done, bro. You can't do that shit and then act like it never happened. Oops, just a bad fucking report. No, you came on the fucking air and you said this is happening, not might happen. You can't say that shit. You can't go on ESPN. Schefter can't go on ESPN and say that Aaron Rodgers has been traded to the Denver Broncos, and then we find out 2 hours later, oops, just kidding. No, a real reporter, they get their ducks in a row. They get second, even in third, factual fucking data on what they're going to report, and then they report it. That's the fucking truth. That's the absolute fucking truth. This guy lost all credibility, and the sad part is he was on the right track. WWE is very imminent to a sale right now. It is very imminent, and it could be with Saudi. It is a very close deal, and as of the time we're talking right now, they could have already made the deal with Saudi, and now it's just going through the legal process, which could take another 4 fucking weeks. So for all we know, they've already made the deal. Guys, we're hearing that JP Morgan was brought in over a month ago. Vince just got back this week. So Vince probably came back just for the finalization, the final approval. This has probably been in the works since Nick Khan took over and the puppet regime was put in place. Now, guys, this also, a Big Kev, I've been saying that for 2 years. Yeah, every move that you saw with the budget cuts and all of that, and how they were tidying up headquarters and then moving headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut. I told you guys a sale was coming. I don't bullshit on this channel so far, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but guys, I got to give myself a little bit of love here. I've been right on nearly, if not everything, on this whole Vince McMahon shit the last 2 years. Some stuff's taken a little bit longer, but I've been right on everything. Even the puppet regime. Stephanie McMahon, right? She gets in this co-CEO position, and this is what she says, and I have to read this because it leads into what I want to talk about in a minute, guys. This is what Stephanie McMahon put publicly to everybody yesterday. Stephanie says, and I quote, "Dear WWE Universe, about 8 months ago, I took a leave of absence, and within a few weeks, unexpectedly, had the opportunity of a lifetime. I had the privilege to return as the co-CEO and chairwoman of the board of WWE. I cannot put into words how proud I am to have led what I consider to be the greatest company in the world, working alongside a remarkable leadership team and one of the strongest executives I have known in my co-CEO, Nick Khan. Our founder, Vince McMahon, has returned as executive chair, unanimously voted in, by the way, yesterday, and is leading an exciting process regarding strategic alternatives. Selling/taking the company private is what that means, guys. I am confident that WWE is in the perfect place to continue to provide unparalleled creative content and drive maximum value for shareholders. WWE is in such a strong position that I have decided to return to my leave of absence and take it one step further with my official resignation off the board as well. I look forward to cheering on WWE from the other side of the business, where I started as a little kid as a pure fan. I will always remain dedicated to WWE. I truly love our company, our employees, our superstars, and our fans. And I am grateful to all of our partners. Thank you for everything. Then, now, forever together, Steph. Now that is her official statement, her resignation of a leave of absence and leaving WWE, and also resigning off of the board. Do you know how big that is, guys? She is off of the board of directors. So this tells me that this Saudi Arabia deal could in fact be more imminent than we originally thought. I mean, she left 24 hours after Vince McMahon was elected exec. Come on, bro. Something is not right here, right? I mean, that's obvious. That's common sense and logic. BC doesn't even have to tell you that. Now, this is where this company is such bullshit, and I hate to slam Stephanie McMahon here, but she is just as much accountable. This is a woman who stood up with Nick Khan and Paul 3H's Levesque just a few days ago in front of the entire talent and employees, through live, in person, and through Zoom. And they had the audacity to say, this is not a time to be scared. We know you're all scared. It's not a moment to be scared. This is a moment to be excited. Our founder is back to lead us to the promised land. And she literally said, don't be scared. Nothing is changing, guys. Levesque will still be in his role. Khan's going to do his thing. I'm going to keep my role. I'm still going to be here for you. The Vince is just coming in. He's not going to touch any of our positions. It's not going to affect anything. Everything is going to remain the same. And 2 days later, she's resigning, leaving the board, leaving the company, leaving everything as if she knows something and the world's about to find out something bad. She is pretty much erasing any fucking trace of her in that building, bro. She wants nothing to do with this shit. She is like, I want off of everything. I don't want a month vacation. I don't want a 6-month vacation. I'm resigning. I am off the board. I want nothing to do with this company. 24 hours after her father comes. Now, if you're selling and shit, this is the time to be a part of it. Stephanie knows something, man. And if they're doing a Saudi deal, we know that there's a lot of females that don't want to be connected with that necessarily. This could be one of those situations. Or she just fulfilled her commitment in her puppet regime, which was, I'm going to go away a little bit, right? Vince is going to go away, he says. I'm going to let the investigation, the smoke settle, the dust clear. And when that's done, I'm going to come back. I'll take the responsibilities back from you, and you go on your leave of absence. She could have just fulfilled her commitments, guys. So for people saying that Paul's next, not necessarily. Paul wasn't taking the leave of absence. So Paul Levesque will run this train out until Vince tells him, you're done, you doofus son-in-law, right? Because Vince McMahon looks at Triple H as a doofus son-in-law. He really does. Vince does not respect Triple H. Vince McMahon has used him as a whipping boy the entirety of Triple H's fucking run in WWE. From the Cerebral Assassin, and he was a damn good heel, by the way, one of the best in the business, to his NXT days, to where he is now. Vince McMahon says how high, 3H's jumps. Vince McMahon says how high, 3H's says, where do you need me next? Vince says jump, he says how high. There you go. 3H's does nothing but kiss the ass of Vince McMahon. And if you dare take his side and say that Vince is an asshole and he should let you do more, he calls us out and he says, we don't understand what we're talking about. We don't understand business. Vince not only knows what he's doing, but Vince is best for business. Triple H has his nose so far up VKM's ass, he knows what he had for breakfast last month. So as much as we want to praise 3H's, Paul Levesque, don't get it twisted. This guy will do whatever Vince says, and then you say he can't do anything, BC. His hands are tied, man. There's nothing he can do. It's Vince's company. He's got to just say, okay. Bullshit. You find your balls out of your wife's purse. Exactly what Randy Orton told him in that promo many years ago. You need to get your balls from Stephanie's purse. Well, that's basically where he has left them for years and years, because not once has this son of a bitch stood up to Vince McMahon. And here we are. You're not hearing a fucking peep from Paul Levesque. Paul Levesque sits in the shadows and he plays the fucking poor guy, the poor innocent guy, right? The innocent bystander. I just want a great product, man. What's all the fighting? What's going on? Saudi's gonna buy us? This is crazy. Vince, is this true? How dare you? How dare you speak to me like, don't question me, you doofus son-in-law. Vince, I'm just asking what's going on, man. Shut up, you doofus. You look stupid. Shrink your nose or something, you dummy. What does my daughter see in you? Vince, we're getting mean, man. Relax. It's only a matter of time. You're going to see Triple H spank some more. And in the next several months before this thing is sold, he's going to be spanked verbally. He's going to be spanked probably physically. And everybody's going to go, poor Triple H. Well, how many times do you say poor Paul Levesque before you finally say, hey, Paul, here's a crazy concept. WWE's already going to shit. We're never going to get WWE back. It's done, guys. The version that we fell in love with is dead. At what point do you just stand the fuck up, take your balls from your wife's purse, and say, Vince, I got a problem with what we're doing right now. I got a fucking problem, Vince. Let me put down my fucking coffee, and I got a problem. No, we never as a community hold Paul Levesque accountable. Everybody is accountable for letting the old bastard run amok. There's only so many times the inmate can run the asylum into the fucking ground before you finally say, maybe we should put a wall so that fucking train doesn't go into the fucking ground. Put the wall up. How many times? At this point, everybody is just an enabler. Do you guys know what an enabler is? It's somebody that sees something drastically wrong, somebody making a bad decision all the fucking time, and they just enable it. Oh, you're an alcoholic? What do you need? $10? Here, just take it. I don't want to know what you're doing with it. I'll make believe you're buying a burger. Thanks. Goes and buys fucking 440s. Bro, that's an enabler. This guy fucking comes back every fucking time in the last 10 years. Tries to ruin this company every which fucking way. They're making good money, no doubt. Liquidating. It's liquidating. It's not helping them in the next 20 to 30 years of WWE. These bullshitters, you know what they say in their little statement? Then, now, together, forever. Forever? Motherfucker, Vince McMahon doesn't want this shit to survive past him. If Vince McMahon was told that he's dying in a year, 5 years, he's going to make sure that this shit dies first. That's what Vinnie Mac does, man. Vinnie Mac wants to inject his own lethal dose of poison before anybody else can grasp control of it. He doesn't like when somebody gets even sniffs an ounce of control near his baby. He will kill it before anybody else has that control. That's the Vince that I know. That's the Vince that we have studied. So at what point when you have nothing to lose, do you just step up and say, bro, this is stupid? Paul Levesque doesn't do that. Stephanie just sends out the fucking... Guys, 2 days after she just lied to everybody, the employees in the roster, she literally said, no time to be scared. It's a time for joy and excitement. Our founder is back, but nothing else is going to change. Paul will be doing his shit. I'll be right here answering your questions right here as always. 2 days later, I'm out. Peace. Wipes her hands with everything. How is that not a fucking bullshitter? And you sit there and you say, well, basically, sometimes people change their mind, man. Stephanie just wanted to go home and see her kids. Then you don't fucking lie to 200 people, all your employees that have given you everything, all of your talent, and you tell them one thing, and you get them buying into it again. More WWE lies. Ask Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks about all the lies. And they buy into it, and they're like, all right, Stephanie talked to us, Paul talked to us, everything's good. All right, Stephanie's going to be there for us. And 2 days later, by the way, I am now leaving everything that has to do with WWE, but then now together forever. The fuck? Where I come from, that's called a lie. That's called a lie. Now, I came from a small town and a small set of projects, no doubt, so maybe that's different to other people. But BC calls that a lie. That is a bold-faced lie. And that's this company's MO. The entire McMahon/Levesque family lies nonstop to the point where it's become their truth. They honestly, everything that comes out of their fucking mouth, they take it as their own gospel, their own Bible, their own truth. They take everything they say as if it's factual content. You know the problem? It's nothing but a shit bed of lies. Nothing but a shitbed of lies. And you can add Stephanie right the fuck into it. How are you going to tell your entire company one thing after you were just co-CEO, and then you're going to tell them another thing? And you know another thing, guys? One other thing real quick. You know when everybody was praising when she took over? Everybody praised her, right? All of the female talent. Congratulations, Steph, you're co-CEO of WWE. And all the females were like, oh, this is such a big moment. And BC was like, what are we congratulating? If you use any common sense and any logic, this is what you call a puppet regime. This guy was under investigation. He left before the fire got so hot that he was going to burn in that company. He left. And by doing that, he got to appoint his own family as all of the heads. And he left with 81+% of the voting shares as well, by the way. So before he left, he put everything in fucking place. He literally went in there, he poured down the gasoline, he lit the match, he fucking threw that shit in the middle of the fucking house, and he watched that thing burn. And he knew that he cleared all his tracks, so he can come right back to the scene of the crime the next day, the next week, 4 months later, he can come right back to the scene of the crime. And he can get right back into those fucking where the house once stood. He can sit atop those ashes, and nobody will question him. He committed the fucking perfect crime, bro, because that's what he did. He set everything up perfectly. And I was the only podcaster who said, you know what? This screams to be a puppet regime. You look at the fucking product when everybody said, Triple H is making it better. He brought back all the people that Vince took care of. He's adding some minutes to matches. And what did you get, guys? Here we are now, 6 months later. Look at Monday Night Raw. It was one of the most boring Raws ever. No NFL competition. An NCAA championship that was 65-7, making people change the channel, and they couldn't even pull a 1.7. The Monday Night Raw rating sat in the 1.6s. The 1.6s. You had no NFL. You had a college football game. A lot of people still don't watch even fucking college, but even if they did, it was so lopsided, they were flipping the fucking channel. And then they had to flip back because Raw wasn't giving them anything. So they went back to college football. If you see the trends, it shows that people were leaving in droves, and then they had to go back to watch a 65-7 game because you weren't finding entertainment on Raw. They sat in the 1.6s, man. They sat in the 1.6s amplified unit. Believe that shit? Because it's the truth. No NFL, a lopsided college championship, and they could not even get 1.7. 17 days away from the Royal Rumble and the start of WrestleMania season, they couldn't even get a 1.7. The product is at its lowest fucking point. The product has been at its lowest point. They don't care anymore. They don't even want to compete with anything. Every week it's going to be something different. I tell you all the time, it's going to be an NFL game for 5 months out of the year. It's going to be a college football championship. The MLB, the NBA will have some games on a Monday here and there probably. There'll be holidays. There'll be presidential speeches. And we'll always say, hey, they get a mulligan, BC. Let's give them an excuse. It's not an excuse. 30 weeks out of a 52-week calendar year. You cannot give them 30 excuses out of 52 shows. At some point, they're going to have to compete. JR9, I love that. World Wrestling Excuses. You might as well say it. Because it's one excuse after the other. But they don't care anymore. They don't compete. You see the thumbnail. The WWE that we once fell in love with, guys. And I know there's some age differences. Some of you guys started watching in the 2000s, some in the 90s, some in the 80s, maybe the 70s and 60s. But the WWE that you fell in love with is gone. That's gone. No matter who buys this shit, it's dead. Vince no longer has that passion. Nobody has the fucking balls or the fucking set of tits to fucking tell this guy he is done fucked up one too many times. He's lost his dome piece. He's off his rocker. And he's not doing what's best for everybody. Nobody has the balls or the fucking tits to do that. So Here's Vince doing what Vince does best, burning his own creation for his own fucking gain. It's his company, BC. He can do what he wants. Then don't fucking lie to us. Don't tell us in all your signatures or at the end of Stephanie's release, her statement release, when it says, then, now, together, forever. What do you mean together? Every decision you make says fuck you to us. And even worse, every decision that Vince McMahon makes is a fuck you to his own talent. What if he actually does the Saudi deal? What happens to Sami Zayn? Do you just say, oh, sorry, it didn't work out, kid. Fuck off. Kevin Owens supports his friend to the very end. Do you say fuck off to Kevin Owens? To the ladies that don't want to participate in this, do you say fuck off to all of them? Business is business. Thanks for your blood, sweat, and tears. Now hit the bricks. I hear Tony Khan is hiring everybody. Is that what you fucking tell him? You don't do shit for your fans, Vince. You don't do shit for your talent, Vince. And you don't do shit for your employees or anybody associated with that logo. You lie. You say you give a fuck, but if you truly did, you would have health insurance for them. If you truly did, you would call them employees and have 401k so that they can fucking have something when they're done with their fucking careers and they can barely walk. But you don't have 401k. You don't have health insurance. You refuse to call them employees. You fire them if they even say the U word. You guys know the U word. No, you don't want any of that smoke. Because that'll affect your bottom penny. Not your bottom dollar. It'll just affect your bottom penny. You're recording record revenue, bro. It just means you care about your people, right? Like Mark Cuban. I'm not a big fan of a lot of his politics and shit, but what he did during the pandemic is, you know what he did? Instead of laying people off, which he was losing money, he could have easily just made mass cuts. He made sure they were taken care of. He did not fire them. He made sure they were taken care of. Tony Khan even did that. You know what Vince McMahon did while he was recording record revenue, guys? Vince McMahon literally laid off mass amounts of talent employees, record amounts, during a fucking pandemic. He actually laid off employees in talent at an alarming rate to the likes we've never seen before, at a time where they're going to be like, how do I put food on the table for my family? And then on one of those years, literally the day of the releases, he went live for his press conference, his conference call, and he said he had the fucking balls, the only one in the company to have balls. He actually said, we just recorded record revenue for the 4th straight time. You're going to brag about record revenue when you just fired human beings during the most fucking desperate time that we can remember in all our lives. If that doesn't tell you about the old bastard in Stamford, Connecticut, if that doesn't tell you about World Wrestling Entertainment in a nutshell, I don't know what else would tell you guys. Everything this guy does screams a fucking douchebag. Because he lies and says he cares, he does not. Because your actions in life will speak louder than your words. I promise you guys, you're going to find that out if you're younger. Remember those words. Your actions will always speak louder than your words. And you best be careful how you treat people on the way up. Because you're going to see those same people on the way down. And don't be surprised if VKM one day suffers a horrendous downfall. It looked like it was going to happen with the investigation shit, but he found his own fucking balls, and he came back knowing that nobody was going to challenge him, that he had all the power, that he could bully his way back, and he was going to be just fine. And guess what? Vince McMahon's on top of the fucking world. So to sum it up, guys, where we're at right now, yes, the Saudi report from last night was absolutely false. The douchebag that broke that as a real story, he has deleted everything associated with it, and that tells me that's a schmuck reporter. Instead of owning it, he deleted it all. And he got everybody acting like this was a real thing. Everybody started, so reputable people like Ariel Helwani had to talk to his people, which he didn't want to. He doesn't like to go into WWE to talk to his people because he doesn't like the pry. He doesn't want to be the WWE journalist. But he had no choice because people were picking up on this bullshit story. However, the downside, so the good news is that's not official. The downside is I am hearing that they have jumped everybody and that Saudi Arabia is now the biggest player. And for all we know, a deal could have already been reached and they're just going through the legalities. But that's not official today, so it's a ray of hope. And if it does get sold, look for WWE to go private and I think Vince would still run the company right here from the U.S., and just like they do with Starbucks, just like they do with Amazon, just like they do with the Marriott and so many other American ventures, this one would just be almost full ownership. But they would run it from the outside, if that makes sense. So it doesn't mean it's the end of the WWE as a whole, and Saudi's just going to make it something we don't even recognize. But it is the end of the WWE that we once loved, because nobody there right now and nobody going forward is ever going to love it as much as we did, and it's never going to be the same again. It's just not, guys. I think we all know that. I think we've been seeing that for months and even years if you're BC. But the WWE that we all fell in love with, it's fucking dead. Saudi deal is not official. Guys, I'm telling you right now, it's not official. Don't listen to anybody else right now. I'm telling you guys, it's not official. My people know for a fact, and they never are that fucking committed to what they're telling me. And the downside is they did jump everybody. So Saudi right now with Vince, they are the lead to buy it. And now we just have to see where it goes from there. Comcast, Disney, and Amazon are still the top three right after Saudi, though. But after I made that video yesterday, man, did Saudi jump they just jumped everybody. And then Stephanie McMahon is out. That is official. That's a real story. She put out her own release. And so she lied to everybody saying that she's going to stick around. Nobody be scared. The words that I'm using for my people down in Florida, guys, they literally said, the talent right now is on edge. I feel so bad for every one of those roster members and all the employees. Honestly, my thoughts and prayers are with them, because this is just horrible. Not only do they not know what's going on, but they're being lied to by Stephanie McMahon and everybody else. Literally by the day, everything they're saying is being fucking contradicted the next day. And the words that I'm hearing, in quotes, this is what I was texted, they're on edge right now. And I mean, you look at Owens. Owens tweeted last night, look at the socks my kid got me for Christmas. I mean, he's just trying to change the subject. He just doesn't even want to fucking... I mean, these talents, these are human fucking beings, bro, just being lied to like they're pissant children. I couldn't imagine working for this company right now. It is a sad fucking time, and I honestly hope them nothing but the fucking best, man. Thank you for the 250 that smashed that up, by the way. Let's take that to 300, man. I really didn't even have the time to do this, but I knew this had to be spoken about, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to be live for AEW tonight to see Mercedes, Sasha Banks fucking debut in AEW if that happens. Some people are claiming it's official. I have not heard that that's official, but it's either put up or shut up for Tony, man. This is either you deliver Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, or you're going to be booed out of Los Angeles, because he refused to debunk the story. He hinted at it, and he refused to debunk it, and he backed himself into a corner. He's in a pickle. Either Tony Khan produces Sasha tonight in AEW's Dynamite as Soraya's a partner, or he better just keep running out of LA and never look back, bro, because that's where we're at right now. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do any coverage of that tonight. So I wanted to go live right now, guys, and just say that was a bullshit report last night, but Saudi has jumped everybody. Don't be totally shocked if within the next 4 weeks you hear a public statement from WWE saying that they have been purchased by Saudi, and I expect them to go private. I expect Vince to still run shit, and Saudi will be like the majority owner running things from afar. That's what I expect to happen if the deal with Saudi goes through legally. It could already be in place, guys. JP Morgan was brought in first, and then Vince was brought in, which looks like to be a final approval of some type of a deal. So the deal could have already been made, but for this schmuck to say that it was already a done deal and it's official, they bought them, and it's a public release now, no. That's bad reporting. And to delete everything and not address it, that's a bullshit reporter. Much bullshit. And for Stephanie to resign 48 hours after lying to her talent and her employees, that's a bullshit move by Steph McMahon as well. And Paul Levesque, for not standing up, for not taking your fucking balls back and reattaching them to your fucking groin. To Paul Levesque, I say you're being a little bitch. Paul Levesque is being a bitch for years, standing in a corner, holding his fucking nutsack, while Vince McMahon makes all of these fucking decisions that are absolutely batshit ridiculous. And he's viewing it, he's listening to it, and when we raise our concern, he says that we don't know what we're talking about. Vince is doing what's best for business. Well, you make your bed, Triple H. You better fucking lie in it, buddy. So if you think that BC's going to praise 3H's and he's a victim in all of this, man, Vince came back and ruined everything H was rebuilding. No. H has always put his nose right up fucking Vince McMahon's fucking ass. He wanted to be the first one inducted into the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club. Until this day, Paul Levesque can't stand that he wasn't. We're so close to 300 on the ups. Why not just fucking do it? If you think WWE is dead in the fucking water and it's going to take a miracle to get the WWE that we loved back, then just smash the fucking up. It's okay to agree with BC, even if you don't like my words or you don't like the way that I scream. It's clear that WWE fucking sucks. It sucked for 10 years, and what's about to happen is going to suck. Thank you, guys. I'm not in the mood right now, man, so that's why. I appreciate that. Over 300. Let's go to 400 now. Guys, I gave you fucking literally 16 minutes of notice for this live stream. Middle of the afternoon. I appreciate that so much. You guys are the best, and I'm going to let you guys off the hook now, man. That's all I'm going to say about it now. I'm going to get more information, and I'll be back with you guys maybe tonight. Definitely, hopefully tomorrow, man, because we're going to talk about AEW Dynamite as well tomorrow. So I hope to be back with you guys tomorrow. Salute to all you, man, to the hundreds that were here live, and I know I only gave 16 minutes of notice, so to the thousands that are going to catch this within the next 24 hours. Even though you weren't able to catch BC live, I hope you enjoyed this 45 minutes plus of just BC unleashing on the stupid fucking reports, the bullshit that is out there in the community right now, acting like Stephanie and Triple H are victims, and coming down harder than ever before on Vince McMahon because it needs to be heard. WWE is fucking dead. Can we fucking save any semblance of the WWE that we once loved? That now remains the question. Because the WWE we loved is dead. Can we save anything from the ashes? That's going to be... That's going to be... Let me get over to the super chats, man. I just saw some super chats up in here. Hold on. I was fucking ranting and raving. Hold on, guys. I saw some supers up in here. Let me try to get over to those if you don't mind. I'm not going to end the stream until I give a shout out to everybody that threw BC a coffee. Because you guys are the best. So hold on. All right, let's start off with, what do you want to start off? Ronnie Falcon Jr. Carlos, appreciate you, brother. You're welcome, man. I'm glad you guys came up and showed up in 16 minutes of notice. Ronnie Falcon Jr., 2-spot, WWE is not sold yet, capital letters. Yeah, I just went over that, Ronnie. That was a bullshit report, but there was truth to it. I just wish this was a better reporter who knew how to report. Instead, he tried to jump the shark, jump the ship, tried to get ahead of the story, tried to break it as if it's legally and publicly official, and he got burned. And he panicked, and he deleted everything, and doesn't even want to discuss it now. Ronnie, he just lost all cred. But there is some truth to it for sure. There is some type of thing going on right now with Vince and Saudi, and for all we know, it could be a done deal. We just got to go legal with it now. Colin, 199, I've been watching WWE since 2002. Yeah, well, Colin, with the WWE you fell in love with, so you were more like ruthless aggression, basically. Colin, that's dead and gone, man. You'll never get that WWE back. I started watching in the 80s. I'll never get that back. I'll never get the 90s. I'll never get the 2000s. I mean, this is just a shell of what it once was, sadly. Taking it back private is the only way that this is going to be saved at all. It's just, is it going to be fucking Saudi who owns it? And then it goes private, and then it just shakes everything, turns everything upside down. Nasir Alexander, $4.99. Move aside, Roman. Mansoor is about to get the push of a lifetime. Mansoor will be the new Roman Reigns for all we know, Nasir. Dave Mealy, $9.99. I can back up what BC was saying. I've been to a couple of Arabic countries many times. You might be surprised at how many American-based franchises actually do business there. Yeah, Dave, I've done a lot of research over the last several months and even years with Saudi. You guys would be amazed at all the products that you use throughout the day, how much investment Saudi has, near ownership on some of these companies. And they're just fine. The world didn't implode. But for WWE and the talents, man, it would definitely be different than anything else. It's not just like having an investment in Starbucks or the Marriott or Amazon. This would be majority ownership of World Wrestling Entertainment. So, I mean, yeah, it's... But Dave, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, they have investments in over 100 American companies. People don't realize that, how involved Saudi is, man. Dante Jaron 23, $199. It's crazy that you called this for months, BC. Yeah, Dante Jaron 23. I wasn't trying to get ahead of a story at all either, by the way. I called this for months because I saw it happening in real time. I saw when Vince McMahon and how he left the company. I saw that the shows were changing in smoke and mirror fashion. It was smoke and mirrors. It was bells and whistles. It was the type of shit that you want to believe H is fully in charge because all these people are back. Some minutes got added to matches. The 24/7 title is off the show. But I saw the formula. I saw the redundancy still. I still saw everything the same and still boring and people still not being used correctly. And just everything was still the same and just really bad. And then you looked at how everything was unfolding. And when Vince came back and I said, wait a second, this is exactly how I mapped it out. And I don't even want the pat on the back, guys. As I always tell you, I wish I was wrong. But Dante Jaron 23, it's crazy that you called this for month, he says. I was just calling common sense and logic. I wish more people in the community, before they even ask their sources, first use common sense and logic. You'll get halfway to your answer if you just use logic and common sense. Then you ask your sources. Nobody wants to do that, and everybody looks like a fool. Dante Jaron 23, I appreciate the words, man. I try to be the very best for you guys, man. And I don't tell you anything unless there's fucking truth to back it up. Jimmy Fingers 19, salute, brother. 219, don't be surprised if Uncle Saudi appears Friday. Uncle Howdy has been removed. It is now Uncle Saudi. Too funny. Jimmy Fingers 19, Uncle Saudi shows up. What's it going to be his outfit, Jimmy Fingers? What's his fucking, what's his attire? Trippy Raspo, 199. He mocks God. Remember Joey Styles? He mocks God. I can't do the Joey anymore. Oh my God. That was a good Joey Styles. Anybody that remembers ECW. He mocks God. That was Joey Styles on Vince McMahon, Trippy Raspo. Bring me back to the day, man. Quincy Gray, gold card status, 2-spot. WWE is destined to fail, even if they get the sale. Yeah, they'll reap in benefits and rewards from there. But if you think this is going to help the long term, man, or long term, I can speak, it's going to shatter it. And this is what I mean. The WWE that we fell in love with, dead, bro. And it's sad to say that. Quincy Gray. Sheriff Rivers, 5-spot, at work, but we'll definitely catch later. Sheriff Rivers, thank you for stopping in, showing the love, and smashing that up. Sheriff Rivers is working, and he stopped by just to say, what's up, BC? Throw BC a coffee and then smash the up. Sheriff Rivers, dude, when you catch this, you're getting a special shout-out for that, man. Salute. Let me drink my fucking coffee correctly. Pistachio latte, man. Pistachio's back at Starbucks, by the way. Again, Saudi has fucking investment in Starbucks, and Starbucks is running fine. So I'm not saying WWE is going to implode when Saudi gets it. I'm saying the WWE we once knew is fucking dead. Vince McMahon will still be running it, guys. I can't say that loud enough. Even if Saudi buys this, I think Vince will make sure that it gets taken private and Vince runs it, if that makes sense. Which I can't tell you that's going to be a better product, but it's our best chance if it is private. But then you lose people like Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and a lot of the females. And I don't know how their company is with LGBTQPW, all those fucking letters, that community as well. I don't think they take too likely or they don't take a liking to the gay lesbian community. I don't believe, but I don't know all the research on that, so I'm not going to talk too in depth about it. But I think that could be a problem as well. All of those letters. I don't know what the letters are, man. LGBTP. WX, WWE, whatever the fuck it is. And I'm not throwing, I mean, much love and respect to all of them, but I don't know what that means for them because I don't know if Saudi is too accepting of that part of society, that community. So that could be a problem with WWE as well if they're going to be bought by them, man. Quincy Gray, no doubt. Sheriff Rivers, no doubt. Mr. Black Ice 22, 2-spot, thinking about China for some reason. RIP, good times. Mr. Black Ice 22, probably because we talked about how Triple H is not a victim, and he's always sucked ass to power, and he's always had his nose up power, and the second he had fucking Stephanie in his grasp, Goodbye, China. And she was done filthy, and I feel so bad for her. That's probably why Mr. Block Ice 22. Much love and respect to China up high. Insane! Hippie insane, 5-spot. A union will not help workers. The railroad union just recently proved that. But it's greatly going to change everything. Insane, hippie insane. A union in pro wrestling would absolutely get the ball moving in the right direction of what needs to be done. And we know that these wrestlers turn into broken shells of what they once were. It is sad to see a professional wrestler when they hit their late 40s and they're at some fucking bingo hall with a sad little fucking wooden table, and they have some 8x10s and some t-shirts that a friend maybe made for them, maybe 20, 30 shirts, and they got a line of maybe 2 fucking people that stumbled upon the bingo hall to maybe remember who Virgil is, to maybe remember a fucking Killer Bee or fucking Axe from my beloved Demolition. You know, it's sad what these wrestlers turn into, and it doesn't have to be that way. They shouldn't have to, fucking just look like just a sad part of society because pro wrestling didn't take care of them. BC, they signed the contract, man. They knew what they were getting into. Bro, it was their only work. They were pro wrestlers. They got a shot at the big fucking stage for whatever reason. They were kicked to the curb. And all of the blood, sweat, and tears, now that they're older, and sure, some decisions they would love to take back, but the fact that you're the person that you put the blood, sweat, and tears for, broke your bones for, the fact that they just don't even give a fuck, insane, hippie insane. It's sad, and I think the company should take better care of them. McDonald's takes better care of their people than World Wrestling Entertainment. That's the fucking truth. Ron C, 23, 199. It's official when BC says it. The unit knows. Rocket. It's official when BC says it is. Ron C, absolutely, because I'll do my due diligence. I'll put my ducks in a row. You guys know, bro. Everybody jumped on to make live streams last night, probably, and videos. I mean, I haven't seen. Maybe I'm talking out of my fucking ass on it, but I bet you a bunch of people did because they wanted to jump the story. BC will be the first, and I'll jump the story if I know the story. If I got my ducks in a row, we're going to talk about it. If I sense bullshit, and from the moment I heard it, I knew bullshit was going to be called. So I did not go live at midnight last night or 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. No. Ron C23, I'll always deliver the facts, bro. JR9 Gaming, 5-spot. What up, brother? 16 minutes of notice. This had to be discussed, JR9. You know it. If Saudi happens, there's still hope for the ladies at Newcastle English soccer team, which is ran by a female, is owned by Saudi, still has a female team. See that? I just learned that myself. JR9, check out his super chat, guys. So it's not all burned connections with the affiliation of Saudi. Newcastle English soccer team, ran by a female and owned by Saudi, still has a female team. There you go. But there's going to be an uptick of shows in Saudi, and a lot of the talent can't make that, JR9. But yeah, the females, I don't know if they're going to want anything to do with it. That's the problem. I think a lot of talent is not going to want anything to do with them. But dropping the fucking info, JR9. I'm going to keep tabs on this as I know you are, brother, and we'll discuss this obviously tomorrow, whatever later. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be ever changing throughout the fucking night. JR9 Gaming, I want to give you a salute, brother, because this is a fucking wild week, a wild month so far, and you've been right there the whole time. Salute. Savage 1024, the Punisher, 5-spot, says, remember when Vince said he was going to kill his own creation? He was not joking, and that was not scripted. I mention that promo all the time because he's basically doing that now. And he's been doing it for a while. I've been seeing this take shape and take fold for the last 2 years especially. He's been killing it by the fucking day by every decision that he makes. Savage, no doubt. Strict Tango, 2-spot. I thought Rock would buy and save pro wrestling. Still a chance. We don't know what's going on right now. I always said Rock and Nick Khan somehow will be involved in the sale, and I thought Comcast would be in the investors. But Saudi has so much available money, they could easily pop $7 to $9 billion and they won't even blink. So Saudi is the one fucking entity that could literally leapfrog Comcast, The Rock, and Nikon. And they could offer Vince what he wants, still full power, and run the shit. Strict Tango, no doubt. Ashley Steggles, $8.99. It's a damn shame the WWE was once the head of the table when it comes to professional wrestling that saw off its competitors, and it's now a shell of its former glory. And it's been a shell, Ashley Steggles, for 10 years. What we're witnessing this year so far, this week alone, we're witnessing the final nail in the coffin of the WWE we once loved. I think it's going to stick around. It's going to keep going. But it's gonna stutter and putter forward. The WWE we once knew and fell in love with is dead. It's been for a while. Today is just one of those days where we have to just believe what we're seeing and have been seeing. It's done. Now the question is, can we save any part of the WWE that we once fell in love with? Can we save some of the ashes and resurrect that in some way? Keep hope alive in any way imaginable. That's all we're asking now, Ashley Steggles. Jimmy Fingers 19, 519. It's going to end up being Trash Bag Teresa as Charlie Flair's opponent at Mania because there will be no one left after everyone quits. I made that joke in the past too, how the product was been so bad, Jimmy Fingers 19, that you would have to have jobber matches at WrestleMania. Trash Bag Teresa versus Charlie Flair. And watch that be the one time Vince has Charlie lose at Mania. And Trash Bag Teresa hoists up the championship. Jimmy Figures 19 with a 519 says, as negative as this all is, I am hoping that Muhammad Hassan gets a callback and finally gets a fair shake. All kidding aside, Vince's NWO promo was a shoot. He knew what he was doing. He knew that he meant that word for word, and he knew that when the day comes, he's going to inject that lethal dose of poison and kill what he created, and he's doing it right now, man. And he just wants the power, and the money is how you keep score, and that's how he's going to fucking die one day. He's going to have all the power and the money. He's not going to let anyone else take control of it, and he's going to do it on his terms. He's going to remain stubborn. He's going to remain the egotistical maniac that he is, and he's going to remain a douche to the people that are below him, because that's what Vince does. And as far as Muhammad Hassan, you'll get him back, bro. You'll get him back. WWE.com trolled last night. You see their fucking social media? Minutes after the story broke as real, they had a fucking interview up with like fucking, they had fucking Jinder Mahal, they had Veer, they just to get people going, wait a second, what's going on here, man? Jimmy Fingers 19. Always good to see you up in here, man. I wish it was under better circumstances for sure. Insane Hippie Insane 10 spots says, then the wrestlers need to learn how to plan for the future and set up some of their pay aside from retirement. McDonald's is screwing of their workers by automating their jobs away. True, so they can look for other employment. That's awesome. You know, if you're a professional burger flipper or a professional fucking order taker, then you can take different jobs, no question. If you feel that a machine is taking your job, a machine is not taking the job of a pro wrestler. So you sign contracts because you just need a job. And what Vince was good at doing, Insane Hippie, I'm going to drop some teaching on you, Insane Hippie Insane. I'm going to drop some preaching on you. What Vince would do forever is he would sign you to long-term deals. He would pay you the peanuts that you're actually doing, all the work, all the traveling, the fucking putting your body on the line. He'd give you peanuts, and he would keep you under the contract. You couldn't even take side jobs. And and he calls you an independent contractor. He does not call you an employee. That's what is bullshit. Right? McDonald's doesn't call their people independent contractors. That's the problem. You treat them like employees, but you don't give them the benefits, and you don't give them the respect, and you don't give them proper pay. And Insane Hippie Insane, you cannot tell me that they got proper pay, because they did not. Because I know for a fact, I've talked to the old timers, many of them, and you'd be fucking dropped dead by what they told me they got paid. And it is sad. So you can say all you want that they should have planned better. When you're in that position and you're just trying to find the work and you sign a deal and 6 months later you realize, damn, this guy's got me by the balls. Life takes a drastic turn, bro. And then one decision after another is made because this son of a bitch has control over you. What I am saying is that this guy has done this for decades. Vince McMahon has played these wrestlers for fiddles. And he's played them until they were worn out. And then he cast them aside, and then they're at a table trying to sign autographs from a non-existent line. Insane, hippie, insane. I'm not saying that they're not responsible for their decisions as well, and that they have to plan better, and that hopefully today's generation of wrestlers hopefully learns from their mistakes and plans better. I'm not saying that's false. You're right. But to act like they just fucked up so badly and they should be the sole ones responsible while Vince is doing the same shit in 2023. To act like a change doesn't have to happen. Bro, that's turning a blind eye. That's turning a blind eye. They absolutely... But now we could meet in the middle and say, like, you had to be with the company for a certain amount of years, right? Like, if you worked for WWE for 2 years... No, WWE should not be fucking paying you every fucking week for the rest of your life. I'm not saying that. But if you're people like Bad News Brown, if you're somebody like Tito Santana, if you're somebody like The Mountie... You know, I think back of what made me buy SummerSlam, or my parents at the time, but what made me beg my parents to get SummerSlam. It was not the main events even with Hulk Hogan and all them, which I loved, and my boy, The Warrior and Savage. It was matches like Big Boss Man versus The Mountie, mid-card matches. I remember the loser goes to jail match. They made so much money for Vince McMahon, they were barely home 2 days a week, traveling their asses off, busting their asses, breaking bones, making Vince all this money for years, not months. And a lot of them are just at a table trying to sign an autograph for a non-existent line just to try to make $5. It's sad, man. So I understand what you're saying, insane, hippie, insane, but I'm going to blame Vince McMahon as well, if you don't mind. Absolutely. He needs to conduct business way fucking differently, bro. Because it's bullshit. Savage 1024, The Punisher 5 spot. If you ask anyone who knows Vince McMahon personally, they would say the same thing Joey Styles, CM Punk, and many others who despise him said. Yeah, I've asked around plenty of time. I've studied the dude. I know exactly Savage 1024, The Punisher, the type of man Vince is. And the people that suck this dude's cock say, well, look how he loves Undertaker. He probably loves his family. We'll never know. You don't know who he really is. No, we do. We do, because we followed and studied this dude for decades, how he treats the average person, the Joe Schmo, the mid-carders, his talent, his employees. We know how he treats the majority of them because we've heard enough stories to make people fucking roll over 17 times over in their grave. We've heard enough stories. We know enough facts. And we've seen it play out in real time for years and even decades. Ali, 199. I don't want Bray Wyatt to be released again. Ali, I don't know why anybody is saying that. Vince McMahon, that was a situation where they butted heads big time, and it was in the midst of the budget cuts. Bray was going through a lot of personal shit, and everybody said that Vince is like a father figure to Bray, and Bray is like a son to Vince. Bray was always coming back, guys. He was always coming back. Vince was going to bring back... This isn't like Triple H brought him back to save WWE. No, Bray was always coming back. Bray gets to do his own creativity. Vince just has to sign off. Vince fucked over Bray during the big matches at pay-per-views. That's where Vince totally failed Bray Wyatt. But that was just a plethora of a perfect storm, guys. You don't have to worry. Bray Wyatt is not going to be released by Vince McMahon just because... everyone has to relax. You don't understand. That's like a kid to Vince. Vince is like a father to Bray. He's in good hands. It's the pay-per-view matches I worry about. The booking of Bray has always been top-notch. The ratings will tell you that. The merchandise sales, the YouTube metrics, always in the top spot. So you may not like the booking of Bray, but it's always been the best. Everyone has to relax on that. Ali, don't be scared about Bray Wyatt. He's just fine, dude. I assure you of that. Magnificent Adrian, 5 spot. We know how he treated his wife. That's all we need to know. Yeah, Linda McMahon, not even his wife anymore, or might be still entitled, but they're not living together. They're barely, if even, talking anymore. So, Magnificent Adrian, absolutely good call on that, dude. I didn't even think of that. Just look no further than that alone. To my super chatters that threw BC a coffee during what was supposed to be a half an hour stream: Magnificent Adrian, Ali, Savage, 1024, The Punisher, Insane Hippie Insane, Jimmy Fingers 19, Ashley Stegel, Strict Tango, JR9 Gaming, Ron C 23, Mr. Block Ice 22, Sheriff Rivers, Quincy Gray, Trippy Raspo, and Dante Jaron 23. Also, Dave Mealy, Nasir Alexander, Colin, and Ronnie Falcon Jr. So all you guys that threw BC a coffee, man, you guys fucking rock, dude. And also Savage 1024, The Punisher, last minute 5 spot. WWE is going to go out of business after Saudi buys it. I'm 100% sure. Well, that would only happen. You got me choked up on that one, Savage. That could only happen if Saudi bought it and then wanted to liquidate their assets for another endeavor. That would make no sense, though. There would have to be a strategic plan in place. I don't think Vince would even sell it outright without some type of majority control either. So Savage, I know it seems that way, and that might even just be a little bit of a laugh, but I don't see that happening. I just hope that WWE just doesn't putter out for the next 4 to 5 years and then finally come to a finish. That would just be a horrible death for WWE. It's already pretty much dead. It's DOA wherever it goes now. For us old-time fans, we're never going to have the WWE we once loved back. But, can we save it at all is the... that's where we're at now, man. Can we save any fucking version of this WWE? Guys, back to one of my super chat. Guys, we just went over 400 on the ups. Much love and appreciation to you guys, man. We're going to take it to 500. I gave you guys 16 minutes notice before we went live. I know the majority of you guys, thousands, are going to catch this over the next 24 hours. I know AEW is tonight. So to see that type of fucking love up in the chat, heading toward 500 now, you guys fucking rock. We just passed over 4. To see the fucking coffees, you guys rock. And to all my gold card members, man, I'm not going to do a fucking a roll call right now because this was supposed to be a half an hour. I'm late as fuck, and I do want to catch AEW tonight. But you guys know who you are. I'll give you a special shout out in the very next vid or live stream. My chat: Redhead Kingpin, Eric Leno, Pedro, Zach, Lawrence, Carlos Ray, JJ, Kevin Johnston, Jer9 Gaming, of course, James Shrimp Fajitas, Michael Anthony, Pile Driver Finisher. Okay, I'm basically doing a roll call on my red team right now. But to everybody, man, much love, respect. BC will talk to you guys tomorrow. If there's any late developments, BC is going to have all of the real facts, not like the dipshits and the schmucks in the community. I'll have my ducks in a row. We will talk about it tomorrow, and we will talk AEW. Either Tony Khan produces Sasha Banks' Mercedes Moné, or Tony Khan might not want to ever put together a Dynamite ever again, bro. Because LA is showing up to see Sasha. And Tony Khan never debunked it. So either he backed himself into a corner or he's going to deliver Sasha and Guys, can you picture this? This is a pro Sasha channel. I don't even think I've comprehended Sasha Banks in AEW. That could happen tonight. Could you guys imagine if it wasn't Sasha? Tony Khan better run away and just don't look back, bro. Because he's being chased by everybody in LA. Much love, respect, guys. BC, top guy, I'm out. BC saying check you. Salute.